Hi everyone, I'm back doing some bow and arrow stuff, and today I'm using my dad's bow, which, unlike my bow, actually looks more like a traditional bow. Just for context, this one's my bow, and then here's my dad's. That's right, we got two bows, one mine, one my dad's. Let's first establish what we know I can do with my bow. I can put the arrow in, pull back the string, and then shoot and possibly hit or bounce off the target. And just saying, I broke one of my arrows, so we only have one of my original arrows now. But I'm still going to continue making archery content for you guys. So let's get into this. Starting with my original bow, which is more low powered compared to the other bow that belongs to my father, who I'm not going to, I'm just going to shut up, but yeah, it belongs to him. And sometimes that'll happen where the arrow actually sticks in, as you can see there. Yeah, and look at how big these arrows are. And just so you know, the previous 3 arrows that I just shot there, they have like a rounded tip on them. These bad boys have sharper tips on them, meaning even with a low power bow like mine, they're gonna stick if they hit the target. Like this. They'll bounce off, but if I put a lucky shot in, it's gonna stick, but obviously that did not happen. Now let's switch things up with not this bow, but my dad's bow, which looks like this. And the bows my dad has are these purple and green ones. Yep, the old user color scheme. But just watch. Alright, way more powerful than the one I've been using because, well, it's all down to the bowstrings and the tension that's put on the bow and the way they're strung. Mine is designed where the limbs don't curve in the opposite direction when they're not strung. Basically, if I took the string off mine, it will still look the same. But if I take the string off of my dad's, it's going to have these fully go the other way, and you would have to do some kind of method to make it to where it goes like this, which gives it more power and a lot more punch when you shoot the arrows, which are huge arrows. Just so that I don't damage anything, there. And now, one of my mom's arrows. Yes, everybody at my house has a bow, which means I could use my mom, my dad, mine, and my sister's bow all in a video sometime, but I'm not going to bother them with that. Oh, holy crap. Retry on that. The way you should shoot an arrow comes down to breathing, timing, and lining up your shot with what you need in order to actually shoot it. Like that. That takes some time to get right. The whole head also went all the way in, so yeah. And now, another one of my mom's arrows. Went still. But easy to come out. But if you ever do get something stuck inside you, like an arrow or a sword or a blade or anything, like a knife or whatever, just don't pull it out, because you're going to bleed out faster and then die. Which is just, most people who work in the medical field would also agree with me on that. Just saying. I'm going to shoot my arrow one more time because I lost one arrow, and I used to shoot 2 of these same arrows. Stupid mosquitoes. Anyway, that was to be expected. And now, purple and green are back in action. Now, we're going to shoot the target again, and then after another round of me shooting these arrows, we're going to turn the target around and shoot the other side. Stupid mosquitoes are bad today, but I'm still going to make this video and still going to practice because it's been a while, because of constant storming that's been around in my area, which kind of sucks. Just to show you guys the actual arrowheads, here they are. And yes, they will put a hole in you, which is quite a bad idea to get hit by one anyways. But for a little bit of context, here's my mom's arrows, and then the last remaining arrow that I have. But we're going to shoot my mom's arrows at the target and try not to lose an arrowhead inside the target, which actually did happen when my mom shot the target once. There's one, and now here comes arrow 2. And now my arrow 3, because my arrow and my mom's arrows are actually the same size. That doesn't sound like it. Shooting my arrows from my bow and these arrows from my dad's bow are completely different experiences. Mainly because my bow is more low powered. My arrow, my bow, let's show just how much difference it makes with each arrow. There's arrow 1, my bow's original arrow. Arrow 2, one of my mom's. Same result. Arrow 3, the second functional arrow that is from my mom. Again, I'm just borrowing these arrows. So, yeah, it's good. Again, same result. And now we got my dad's arrows, the long green and purple and white. Tip heavy, meaning it goes down as it travels through the air, unless I aim up a little bit. And that one finally got in. And now, we're going to do the same thing again, but this time with the other bow, this one. Test 2, but this time my father's bow, my dad's bow, and my arrow from my bow. Let's get her done. Oh my god. Okay, well, that is kind of terrifying, but also it's not the arrow, so that counts technically. Now it's arrow 2. There it is. That's what I want to see. Arrow 3. Oh my god. We're going to try again with arrow 3 because I missed. There it is, that's better. And just so I don't break these arrows. I'm removing them from the target so they don't get damaged. If you didn't hear me, I'm saying I remove them so that they don't get damaged by these other arrows, because that's how my last arrow for my original bow broke. And now, test 4 with these huge beasts of arrows that do that to the target. Look at that. Seriously, that is terrifying, because here is where it landed. And yeah, don't want to get hit by that. But again, this would probably be a good pounded bow to actually go hunting with. Hence why you'll see why I'm shooting this target on the other side too. That was test 5, and here's test 6. Final arrow. Okay, retake. And I'm not doing any editing stuff yet so that you guys can actually see all the trial and errors. There it is. Almost a bullseye. Now you can see why we're shooting this target in the first place. That's a deer silhouette. And we're starting off with my original bow, which, looking back at it, is pretty low poundage if I can do this and not hit it. The number one thing you want to not do with your bow, if you're using a bow, is to not just do it, like try to shoot the bow without an arrow, because all the tension and force that goes from the string after you pull it all the way back transfers back into the limbs, or potentially your arm, potentially hurting you if it's a higher pound bow, and if it's not directed into you, it's directed back into the bow's limbs, potentially breaking them, which is kind of the reason why I'm just saying that now. So don't do that if you don't want your bow broken. And now, arrow 2 for this gun. Oh wow, I was not expecting that. Okay, well, as you can see, the arrow actually stuck in, and we are doing great so far. Now, third bows, like the third arrow for this bow, it technically penetrated, which if this was a softer material, it would still stick in, but in its defense, the target is made out of something strong to catch the arrows flying at speed, which is honestly understandable when you're trying to stop the arrows and not damage your stuff. Arrow 4, one of the long arrows. Would have stuck in if it was an actual deer, because deer skin is softer and more thin compared to this. It would have done that. Retake. Here we go. Retake of the final arrow. There it is. And this is a 17-minute video so far. Nothing broke. Now we are going to take my dad's bow, put each arrow on it, and shoot it at the target. Now with the deer side facing us. And that's going to be a painful one right there, because when you get hit by an arrow traveling at speed from this kind of bow to this, is bound to happen as well, because round tips don't bounce off. Boing. But the bow and arrow aren't the scariest part of the bow and arrow. It's the speed and strength. Because of that. Now, we're going to do these long arrows. Also, I'm doing mandatory range, where I use my first, second, and third fingers to pull the string back. The bowstring hit my arm right there. That did hurt like hell, but we're going to continue through this. If that deer was moving, it would have technically hit, but it missed. Because this would be a deer that's standing still with nothing better to do. But there it is. Retake with this. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Do not want to be hit by those. I'm just making a video about archery. And now we're going to do one more round and then I'm going to end the video. Starting with this one. Oh my God. This arrow bounced off the side of the target. Okay. Not good, but I'll take it. Now, each one of these bad boys. Like and subscribe and comment down below. And if you were in a fantasy setting, which kinds of arrows would you use? That will be enough archery for today. I will see you guys on the next adventure of archery. So please like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.